Behind the fences here at ConQuest Deer Farm, you're going to find the best whitetail herd that's creating the best scents in the hunting industry. But what makes ConQuest Scents unique is we own our own deer herd, and we collect those scents from those deer, and then we manufacture it right here on the farm, and we ship it from the farm directly to you. Well, during this show, we're actually going to educate you and teach you how to use some of our best products from ConQuest Scents, such as EverCalm and VS1. And then we're also going to introduce a new product that we've just come out with and explain to you how to use it and what it is. Welcome back to ConQuest Deer Farm, located in Davison, Michigan. You know, we've been blessed to be able to raise some of the largest typical whitetails in the deer farming industry, world record class whitetails. And from that herd, we've also been able to produce and collect some of the very best scent that has ever been found in the hunting industry. By owning our own deer, we're very unique. Most of the larger scent companies don't own any deer. They have to purchase their urines. With ours, it's collected, it's manufactured, it's packaged, so it becomes much fresher. We have much more control over what happens with it, and we know that it's more effective out in the field, namely EverCalm. So I'd like to talk to you about really what does EverCalm do and what is EverCalm. So, you know, when we came out with EverCalm, the first ever calming scent, people were like, what do you mean calming scent? How do you calm deer? But living with deer on ConQuest Deer Farm, we realized that when we were handling them and we were becoming all covered with their scents and smells, from their bedding areas, it was a safety smell, it was an attracting smell, and it just calmed the deer down. And so just kind of by accident, we started to realize that we have something unique in our deer herd that all wild deer are attracted to and feel safe around. Now we had to figure out how do we collect it and then how do we manufacture it. Well, you bring a group of deer in, you collect all the scents and smells out of their bedding area, you blend that all together, and then we were able to package that in liquid form, and then we came out with the wax stick formula, which totally revolutionized the deer scent industry. The hunting industry over the years has kind of been taught that an ammonia smell to urine sense is okay. Well, young deer are attracted to it. But if you're hunting trophy bucks, mature bucks, they know better. They know that that's old, it's spoiled. So we realized that if we take the liquid and we encapsulate it into wax, it's a natural holder. We don't have to put a preservative in it. We can collect the urine, we can immediately put it into the wax, we pour it into the deodorant stick, we seal it shut, and we put it in a Ziploc bag. Now it's airtight. Nothing can change with that urine. It stays stable until it's opened up, wiped out, and it evaporates before it goes bad. That is what has made the wax stick formula so popular with hunters, and it's made our scent more effective in the woods because it's fresher and it smells like real deer right at the moment you put it out. What makes EverCalm unique is that it's an all-season scent, so you can put it out all summer long and you can get deer to actually come to an area that they get comfortable with, which is where you're going to be hunting. But it also is easy to use, so as you want to go in during the season, wipe it on your boots, wipe it on your arm sleeves, and you make scent trails as you're going in. And once you're in your hunting area, you can wipe it on trees, rocks, branches, anything in that environment, and it simply starts to evaporate out of that wax formula, and you create this area of attractiveness in the area that you're hunting. One of the things that we're actually starting to hear from hunters is how they're using the EverCalm stick with their trail cams. They're setting up their trail cameras and then they're wiping the EverCalm on trees or branches out in front of it, and they're getting better pictures of all of the deer. Not just the bucks, but even the does and the fawns, so they can start to get a head count, they can start to see what the antler growth is doing, they can see how the fawn growth is doing. It's really helping them to understand what's in their hunting area and identify what are we going to start to do and see once the season comes. VS1, our estrus scent, was really the first scent that ConQuest Scents had. Now, in our breeding program, we artificially inseminate our does, so we bring them into heat. It's called synchronized cycle technology. We do the same thing with the scent does. The only difference is we don't breed them at the end. Now, this process of putting hormones into their system over a 21-day period increases the pheromones in their system. So at the end of that process, we actually collect the very peak of the estrus cycle. Now, the estrus cycle is usually 2 to 3 days long. We collect the very peak of it, so we get less product, but it's the most powerful that you can get. So a long process, 21 days for one collection, gives you, the hunter, the very best estrus scent on the market. Hunters are always asking me all the time, what do we use VS1 with? Behind our EverCalm, which is our #1 seller, the Hunter's Pack and VS1 EverCalm Combo Pack is our #2 seller. Here's a reason why. EverCalm is used all season long, and it gives that area of comfort and safety and brings the deer in because there's already a herd of deer there. Even though they don't see them, they smell them. And so then, in the pre-rut, rut, and post-rut, you're putting a doe that's in heat into that group. Now the bucks are going to look for that doe which is in the group. So by combining those two scents, it becomes very effective, in fact more effective than having them separate and by themselves. Did you know EverCalm is the #1 requested scent by hunters? It is offered in liquid, aerosol bombs, and the Scentfire vaporizer. Order yours today at ConQuest Scents. You're watching ConQuest Scents Special Edition right now. Well, one of the favorite things that I like to do actually early pre-season is make some mock scrapes. I want to start getting those bucks to come to areas that I want them to come to, not where they want to go. I've got my hunting blind right here in front of me. We've got this long, narrow food plot down through the middle of the woods, and just on the left side is a little creek bed. Right over here, we got the farmer's cornfield and the edge of the woods. And so there's another travel corridor. So right here in front of my blind, kind of off to the end where I know all the deer have to come around this corner, either into the woods or in the evenings out into the cornfields, I want to make a mock scrape. Okay, now that's where the scrape maker comes in. What's so unique about this tool is that it has all 4 parts that you need to make everything authentic, not only in your scrape, but in your surroundings. The 2 prongs work just like the hooves of a buck when they go to paw the scrape out. We then have a serrated edge. That is to simply rake the licking branch and kind of tear it up like a buck's antlers would. Then on the other side is a very sharp, smooth edge, so be careful because it can cut you. But this makes rubs on small trees around the area. And you want to do this about 3-4 foot off the ground. What it does, bucks from a distance see those and realize that a new buck is coming into the area and they want to come over and investigate, and what are they going to find? Your new mock scrape. The last thing, oversized hoof print. It's very important that it's oversized. The dominant bucks in the area definitely know the different sizes in not only the footprint, they know the difference in antler size. They also even know the difference in the lower vocal of grunting by dominant bucks and immature bucks. So by putting an oversized hoof print, it makes them more aggressive at wanting to take that mock scrape over. So now that we have the entire environment, the scrape set up, we have the rub set up, the licking branch up, now it's time to add the scent. So we add RuttingBuck into the scrape. Another great scent that ConQuest Scents has is called RuttingBuck. Now RuttingBuck is a testosterone or competition scent. And hunters have to understand that when you put this out, you are actually putting another buck into another buck's area, and they're competing for that territory for breeding rights. Now we use younger bucks, therefore, no matter where you're using it, older deer and the same age deer bucks can be more aggressive towards it. If we use our old mature bucks, we would scare a lot of the younger bucks away. So we use our younger bucks, so all of them are attracted at trying to push that buck out of the area. So now that we have the scrape and the environment set up, we're going to put the RuttingBuck scent into the scrape. Those wax little particles will stay there for probably 4 or 5 days and let scent off. We now need to put EverCalm, the #1 scent, up on the licking branch. So now we have all the natural deer smells of EverCalm. We have RuttingBuck in the scrape, and that's the competition scent. So we now have the complete blend. This scrape should be taken over within at least a week, maybe 5 days, right in front of my tree stand where I'm gonna hunt. Now, if you're looking for a combo in the early season, I would strongly suggest our RuttingBuck pack, which is EverCalm and RuttingBuck. Here's why. Again, EverCalm, putting it in the area where you're hunting creates a herd of deer in that area, but now you've just put a new buck into that area. So it becomes a competition for the bucks that are there to push that buck out. So by combining those two, even over a mock scrape, becomes very, very effective. So that's our RuttingBuck pack. Well, as most hunters know, that when CWD came around, some of the states and some of the Canadian provinces have looked at trying to ban real urine scents. So 2.5 years ago, ConQuest Scents started to look at making a synthetic scent for both EverCalm VS1 and RuttingBuck. It took some time and it took a lot of testing in the field, but happily, we have them. And they come in both the wax formula and the liquid form. If you have to use synthetic scents, look for ConQuest Synthetic Scents in EverCalm VS1 and RuttingBuck. So if you're gonna use liquid scents, I suggest using ConQuest Scents Stink Stick. Here's what makes it special. The fiberglass wick actually does not rot, so the air flows freely through it and it uses 100% of the scent you put in it. The other thing is when you close it up, it's absolutely leak-proof and airtight. Now, we have run these things over with pickup trucks, we have dropped them into buckets of water, and they're still floating 24 hours later. That's how tight they are. The stink sticks come in 2 different colors, and there's a reason for that. The green is more for bow hunting when you're up close, and you kind of want to keep your scent and your scent dispenser hidden. It blends into the trees, it blends into the weeds and the grasses. But now if you're gun hunting, you want to use the orange. It can be used as a yardage marker as well. So it's very visible through the scope or even to the naked eye. So you can set one at 50, 100, 150, and you know when that deer steps out and is smelling and looking for it, you know exactly how far away he is. Coming up after the break, I'll show you ConQuest Scents easy to use aerosols and how they become so effective in the woods. Right here on ConQuest Scents Special Edition. You're watching ConQuest Scents Special Edition right now. When ConQuest Scents came out with aerosols, we were very excited. These aerosols can either be set off as a bomb and it can literally fill the entire hunting area with that scent, or it can be put off in short bursts, so you have control of how much scent you're putting out. But as I'm going into the wood, I'm also spraying the aerosol bomb roughly 4 feet off the ground. That's a deer's nose height. Now, a lot of hunters are starting to like the aerosols for all season. So let's talk about making a mock scrape using the scrape maker. Once we have that scrape made and we have everything set up in the environment, we want to actually spray EverCalm up on the licking branch, and we want to saturate the ground with the RuttingBuck. Now, this is early season. It's before the bucks are even really starting to rut, and then pre-rut. This is when they're really wound up trying to push all the bucks out of their area. So you're putting a new buck in. By saturating that, it becomes really strong and it stays there for a length of time. Now we transition into kind of the pre-rut and the rut, when the does are ready to come into heat, and they are in heat. Now you want to transition to the certified estrus and again the EverCalm. Again, refreshing your mock scrapes, refreshing the scrape lines that you're using, and I would saturate the ground around that with certified estrus, and it'll bring all those deer right out in front of you. Our aerosols actually come in 2 different sizes. We have the large 7-ounce cans, which come in EverCalm and RuttingBuck, and then we have both of them in the smaller 3.5 ounce, and our certified estrus comes in a 4-ounce can. As most hunters know, ConQuest Scents came out with the Scentfire unit a couple of years ago, and it's been a great hit. It's the first ever heated scent dispenser that actually works by a remote up to 40 yards away. Inside the cartridge, the portholes that allow the scent to go down, we doubled the size of those. In other words, now you get twice as much scent going down and twice as much being vaped, so you get more scent into the air every time it goes off. We also changed the remote. We went to a 1-3 pause rather than a green, blue, red. 1 minute means it goes off automatically every 1 minute. Every 3 minutes pause, it goes on standby when the deer are in close. Every time I push 1 or 3, I can set this unit off. So I control how much scent I want going out into the air at all times. The other thing that's also available now is a tripod and a telescoping 40-inch stake. One of the things I really like to do when I use a Scentfire unit is put one of the telescoping stakes out in the middle of my food plot. So if you just take it, push it down in the ground, simply pull it to the height that you would like, take your Scentfire unit and just screw it on. It's really that simple. Start your unit and you walk away. Okay, now when you purchase a Scentfire unit, it comes with 3 basic things. One, it comes with the unit itself. This is what the cartridge screws down into, and the batteries get placed up in through the bottom. Then it comes with 1 cartridge of EverCalm already included. The third thing that you get is the remote. The Scentfire unit comes with 1 EverCalm cartridge included, but you can also purchase other cartridge packs, such as the EverCalm pack. You can also get this type of a pack in the RuttingBuck or VS1, or you can get what we call the RuttingBuck pack and the Hunter's pack, where it's a RuttingBuck and an EverCalm or a VS1 EverCalm combo. So there's 5 different packs that you can choose from to use in your Scentfire unit. You're watching ConQuest Scents Special Edition right now. Hi, my name is Doug Roberts from ConQuest Scents and ConQuest Deer Farm. I want to introduce you to a new product that we're coming out with. It's called ThermaPads. Now I understand you're all thinking that there's wafers out there that are scented, and that's true. This is different. These ThermaPads are actually scented with real scent, EverCalm, RuttingBuck, and VS1, and they can be hung on branches throughout the season, anywhere in your hunting area, and it simply emits the scent out. And they're 100% biodegradable, so if you forget them or lose them in the woods, no worries. It simply turns into dirt and falls away. Here's what makes it very unique and makes it a different category. You can also heat these in butane heated scent dispensers, and they can be heated all season long. But what's really good about this is they can be heated in cold weather. That's the one thing the hunting industry's really struggled with. How do we get scent out into the wind in cold temperatures? Well, ConQuest Scents has just fixed that problem for you. As it works and as the scent emits out of it, it simply loses its color, and you know when to replace the ThermaPad. Look for it at ConQuestScents.com on our website. Well, did we get your attention? Let's take it out into the field now, and we'll show you all the different ways that we feel ThermaPads can be used. So now that we're outside and I've shown you how I like to set up my mock scrapes, I want to show you how to use a different type of scent. It's our new ThermaPads. They're 100% biodegradable. So as they just lay here, they simply rot away and turn back to dirt. But they also emit scent for up to about a week. 24/7, 5 to 7 days long, so you don't have to come out and refreshen any scent. Simply put the RuttingBuck pad right in the middle of the mock scrape. You simply take the EverCalm ThermaPad and hang it from the licking branch. Now, the bucks may paw the RuttingBuck out of there, but it's still emitting the scent in the area, and it's drawing them in to take this scrape over. Well, every year I have hunters that are always asking me how I use my scents. How do I set them up out into the field, and what do I use and when do I use it? Well, of course it changes throughout the season as the season goes on, but I always start the season using EverCalm. And I use EverCalm all season long every time I'm hunting. This year I'm actually going to use ThermaPads in butane scent dispensing devices. But how do I set it up on the field? Well, it's a triangle, and Jimmy Sipes does this triangle as well. And your hunting blind that you're in is the point of that triangle. So I want to set one off to my left. I also want to set another butane scent dispensing device off to my right with ThermaPads in it. Now, as soon as I start getting into late October, I want to add RuttingBuck. So I'll put RuttingBuck in one, EverCalm in the other. So I'm kind of comboing the two scents. And once we get into that pre-rut period, of course it's EverCalm in VS1. When we started selling VS1 and EverCalm, we were nothing more than a small family deer farm. We put in so many long hours that we started to wonder, would it even be worth doing? During the recession in the late 2000s, hunters started to realize just how well EverCalm really worked. From does to bucks, they were filling their freezers while they're losing their jobs. This is why EverCalm is more important than ever. EverCalm brings in more deer with ease, giving you the opportunity to harvest more deer. And this means a freezer full of food for your family. You have believed in ConQuest Scents, and we believe in you. From our family here at ConQuest Scents, we want to truly thank you for your support, and we wish God's blessings on you and your family as you go through this fall.